Welcome back. Let's talk fine art now. A local photographer has scooped the coveted Global Eye Award at this year's StartNet Fair in London. Chris Fallows describes his work as a symbol of hope and a call for change. Well, his winning submission is titled Air Jaws and captures a great white shark breaching the surface of the ocean. It was chosen for the powerful message it carries towards wildlife conservation. Fallows talks to us now all the way from Cape Town about his love for nature and his award. Chris, thank you for your time. Good morning to you. I mean, a big congratulations on this coveted award. How does it feel to be, I suppose, recognized not only in the country but internationally?
Well, firstly, thank you very much for having me, and it's a great privilege and honor to have won the award. I think, it's not just myself winning, it's all wildlife photographers, really. You know, we all try and showcase the continent's incredible diversity and wildlife. And, you know, it's a very important message, I think, that wildlife fine art photography has been recognized in a way that it's a collectible art form. It looks good and, you know, it has also got increasing value, but most importantly, it's got meaning.
Yeah.
We need to do everything we can to conserve what we do have on our continent, and this is a visual way of showing just how special it is.
Right. I mean, Chris, I'm sure you've taken so many images and we've seen so many wildlife-related images, obviously, but what do you think was it about this particular image, especially the message that you aim to carry behind it?
I think this image is a particularly impactful image. Globally, you know, sharks are a species that are talked about pretty much from corner to corner on the globe. Discovery Channel has an entire week of shark shows every year. So sharks are topical, they're powerful animals, and I think the pose of the animal when it's coming out the water straight towards the camera, you know, is a particularly striking one. Having worked with these animals for close on 25 years at Seal Island in False Bay, that was a sight I only ever saw once, just that particular attitude of that animal coming racing up out of the water. And I think, you know, it's a very emotive image. A great white shark is a super predator, and it captures the essence of the animal when it's hunting. And I think that struck a chord with the people that attended the art fair, as well as with the judges.
Yeah, absolutely. When I look at the images now, they're on the screen as we're talking. Not only are they so captivating to watch, literally to stare at, but I can almost feel the passion that you have for wildlife. So this isn't just a passion for photography, but also a passion to seeing more sustainability and preservation when it comes to wildlife. Where does that come from?
Well, it comes from my roots in Africa, I guess. You know, from the very youngest age, I was exposed to wildlife. I had a father who used to do a lot of work on the borders of the Kruger National Park. So I spent inordinate amounts of time in the park itself. And, you know, when you're exposed to wildlife, you can't but become very fond of it and in love with it. And I think, you know, especially us as Africans, we all have our roots in this amazing continent. And by having deeper exposure to it, you know, there's a deep yearning to see more of it and a very strong feeling and ethos to protect it. You know, sadly, many of the subjects in my exhibition are no longer with us. And, you know, if I look at those amazing, huge tusked elephants, there are only roughly 25 great tuskers left on our continent. In the 1930s, there were over 10 million elephants in Africa. Today, there are 360,000. So it's a very important message that we really need to protect that which makes our continent so special. You know, it's our heritage we're talking about. It's no longer just a couple of animals. It's that which attracts so many tourists to our shore. It's that which makes us different to the rest. And it's a very important part of our roots. You know, anybody who spends time in nature can't but be touched to the soul. And, you know, these images bear testament to what we have, what we've lost, and really what we need to protect.
You know what, I'm going to ask the team if they can just to bring up those images once again, if for any of our viewers have missed it during this conversation. But the question is, as I'm looking at that, Chris, please let me in on this. How did you capture these images? What happened? Where were you? How did you position your camera? How did you capture this?
So, you know, just like anybody else who spends a lot of time around their passion, whether it's a Formula One driver or, you know, a painter, or in my case, a wildlife photographer, you get to understand your subject. And one of the most important things for me is it's not only understanding my subject, but making my subject comfortable in my presence. So I spend a huge amount of time in close proximity to these animals. I like to get very low when I shoot, when I photograph, my subject. So what that means is really engaging at an eye level, or even looking up to my subject. So often as photographers, they sit in a vehicle with a big lens and they shoot down. And, I believe these animals stand on the same platform as us in terms of their right to be on this planet. And so I try and convey that essence in an eye-to-eye approach. I have to say, a big part of why I do it is also just the incredible feeling you get from being so close to these amazing creatures, whether it's having a wandering albatross's 3.5-meter wings draped around you on a remote subantarctic island, or sitting, a stone's throw away from hearing a lion roar and feeling that resonance of that roar go through you. It's an addiction, I guess, to be quite honest with you. It's an amazing thrill, and it's just incredibly humbling that these animals allow me in their space. So the most important thing for me photographically when I create my works is to get to know my subject,
right,
let them be comfortable with me, and just try and find out what the very essence of each one of those animals is.
But you know what, Chris, I just want to congratulate you once more for this award, but also thank you for capturing history for many more generations to enjoy. Thank you so much, Chris Fallows, for joining us.